Good evening and welcome to the big story here on Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos. My name is Chika Agu. Let's get started with our conversation tonight. The appeal court in Abuja has sacked the Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang and, on the other hand, affirmed the election of Hyacinth Alia as Governor of Benue State. In one ruling, the lead justice of Frida Williams Daudu ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to issue a certificate of return to the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Nentawe Goshwe, in Plateau State. On the other hand, the appeal court's three-member panel, led by Justice Onyekachi Aja Otisi, held that Uba failed to prove beyond reasonable doubt the allegations of forgery against Ode, hence Alia's victory in Benue State. Recall that the candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the March 18 governorship election, Titus Suba, had approached the appellate court to set aside the judgment of the tribunal which upheld Alia's election. According to the court, the decision of the tribunal to dismiss the petition filed by the APC and its candidate on the ground that the duo had no business meddling in the affairs of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), on which platform Mutfwang was elected I'll take that again. According to the court, the decision of the tribunal to dismiss the petition found by the APC and its candidate on the ground that the duo had no business meddling in the affairs of the People's Democratic Party on which platform Mutfwang was elected is in breach of Section 177 of the 1999 Constitution as amended and Section 134 subsection C of the Electoral Act. And so let's get a sense of reactions to these rulings and go deeper into what was brought before the courts and how the court ruled in both cases. And so joining us this evening on the big story are Joseph Adudu, who is a journalist based in Plateau State. He's also the publisher of The African Drum. And we have Agagbe Kelvin Telum, who is a social commentator, and Kelvin joins us from Benue State. Thank you very much for joining us this evening on the big story, Mr. Adudu. I hope you can hear me.
Thank you very much. I can hear you clearly.
Oh, great. Happy to have you on with us this evening. In just a moment, we'll be joined by Agagbe Kelvin Tolum from Benue State. So, Mr. Adudu, let's get started with the court ruling in Plateau State, right? It is sacked Governor Caleb Mutfwang and in fact has affected the lawmakers at the National Assembly. So just give me a moment to read out these updates from the National Assembly. Senator Abba Moro, representing Benue South, has been appointed as the minority leader of the Senate and also appointed Senator Ositango, representing Enugu West, as minority whip of the Senate. The appointments are to fill the vacancies following the sack by the appeal court of Senator Simon Mwatkon and Senator Darlington Wokocha. Okay, so just wanted to put that update out there. What is Governor Caleb Mutfwang saying in reaction to the appeal court ruling in Abuja?
In respect of his own case?
Yes, in the governor.
First and foremost, he has made it very clear, categorically clear, that he's challenging his sack at the Supreme Court, as allowed by the law. He has also equally called his supporters and the people of Plateau State to remain calm and promising them that this is a temporary, setback. So that is the message of Caleb Mutfwang to the people of Plateau State and to his, supporters.
Right. I also think that it's, interesting that all of this is happening now. And I remember the last time you were here, we had a very lengthy conversation on the court's ruling at the time, ordering the PDP to go and to go organize I think at the time was organize a congress or so, and they didn't comply with the court ruling at the time, and now it has come back to haunt them. What's the PDP in Plateau State saying in reaction to all of this?
Now, I think the last time I was with you was after the judgment at the tribunal.
Yeah.
Yes, and the judgment at the tribunal, there was a conflicting, decisions by the three panels. There were three panels that were handling all the petitions, in Plateau State. There was the governorship, there was the National and State Assembly. Because of the enormity of the petitions, they had to set two panels to handle, the petitions for National Assembly and the State Assembly. Now, one of the panels, gave, the judgment in favor of all the PDP candidates, whereas the second panel gave, against the PDP candidate. And the reason given by the second panel was that PDP did not comply with the court order. Now, what I want to say here is that in all the petitions filed against the PDP candidate regarding Plateau elections, the main ground was one, that PDP failed to comply with court order of SPDAN 2020, that, for a repeat Congress to elect ESCO at the party level. Now, the other panel that gave in favor of PDP said that no. The issue of Congress, by the law, by the Constitution, the tribunal is not the jurisdiction of the scope of jurisdiction, is not expanded to include what happened during Congress or primaries. The jurisdiction of the tribunal is to decide on what happened during election. And that is to say, whether someone was validly elected. It has to do, with issues regarding election. That is the position of that, that panel.
Right.
So at the appeal, that is the appeal, is like upheld the decision of the second panel to say that, look, the tribunal has jurisdiction to entertain what happened during, not party primaries, but Congress, and that has been the subject of argument.
Right. Okay. Because I do have a follow-up question for that, but I want us to just sort of pivot to Benue State for a moment and speak with Agagbe Kelvin and Telom, who is a social commentator and has joined the conversation. Kelvin, I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mr. Kelvin. Thank you very much for joining us on the conversation this evening. What are your thoughts on the Supreme Court, not the Supreme Court, I beg your pardon, on the Appeal Court's ruling concerning the clerical governor, Governor Hyacinth Alia, affirming him as the duly elected governor of Benue State? What do you make of that judgment?
Yeah, so first off, I think that judgment is clearly reflecting the will and wishes of the people of Benue, because you see that they came out in mass to vote at the March 18th elections, and that sort of upheld that victory and also affirm what the will of the people is concerning the situation in Benue. So right from the tribunal, you could see that the PDP had no case, if you ask me, or if you ask anybody, but they just have to go ahead to challenge the outcome through the means that the law permits. So they are going to follow it through. But you could also see that from the body language of the people. The people involved, because we could see that the deputy governorship candidate of the PDP, was in court yesterday, and you could see him give that hand of sportsmanship to the current deputy governor, who was also in court. So you could see from the body language of what we're saying that they might not be proceeding to, the Supreme Court. But let's see how it plays out. Politicians are always politicians, so they always want to follow it to logical
I'll be
conclusions.
surprised if they do not head to the Supreme Court, but well, I'll come back to that shortly. So, Mr. Adudu, you made mention of two tribunals and two separate rulings on the on the governorship case, right, in the in Plateau State, and I wanted to ask you if you could remind us how we ended up with two tribunals in that case.
I think there was no conflicting. You see, the PDP tribunal. The governorship tribunal.
Yes.
It was to handle the governorship petition. It was a single tribunal set up for that purpose.
Okay.
Then the National and State Assembly, because of the enormity of petitions. Remember, I told you the other time that Plateau State has the highest or had the highest number of petitions.
Okay.
Yes. About 36. I told you this.
Yes.
Now, because of the enormity of the petitions, the National and State Assembly, in a tribunal was divided. There were two panels for that because of the enormity of the petition. And the two panels gave conflicting judgment. One in favor of all PDP petitions before it, and the other against. Now, the governorship, of course, gave in favor of PDP to say that the issue of structure is a pre-election matter. The issue of nomination and sponsorship is a pre-election matter, and the tribunal has no jurisdiction. So the three panels, you have the governorship and the two for the National Assembly, two gave in favor of the PDP, then one against it. That is the position at the lower tribunal.
Right. So, so here we find ourselves, with the governor having been sacked. Obviously, the opposition lawmakers are excited at this ruling. For them, this gives them a fighting chance, right? Or this justifies their position. For the governor, there's still one more step that they have to take, or that he can take, right? He can go the way to the Supreme Court. For the lawmakers, for the lawmakers, how does this affect them, at the National Assembly? How does this situation here affect, their own nomination or their own, the verdict that they received? If things are turned over for the governor, do you get this at the Supreme Court? Do you get the sense that, they can plead their own case? Because their own case effectively ends here at the appeal. They don't have any recourse to the Supreme Court.
Yeah. Actually, that is the position. Their own case ends at the Court of Appeal. But I was thinking, let me say this for purpose of clarity. When this case was and I'm also speaking, as a journalist, I'm not supposed to take side, but just to kind of tell you the feelings of, especially, stakeholders and then some of the civil society organizations. Now, this is it. The Court of Appeal had to, harmonize all the cases and then to Abuja and Lagos. Now, in the case of Plateau State, you have one panel that is handling all the petitions from Plateau State. And the question is, what they are asking, those that are so much concerned about the development are asking, why is it so? For instance, if you look at other states, if a particular person has a case, let's say you belong to the PDP and then you won an election and then APC and the Labour Party, take you to the tribunal. At the appeal, if the case is APC petition, a panel, handles it. If the Labour Party, another day is for the Labour Party, another panel handles it. But in the case of Plateau, all the petitions, governorship, National Assembly, and State Assembly, are being handled by the same panel, and the people are asking why. That is one. Secondly, if you look at the way and manner the rulings have been dished out regarding this panel, there is a conflict. Like in the case of the senatorial Matcom and Musa Aga of House of Res Basa Just North, a rerun was ordered. Now, in the case of Isaac Kwalu and John Dafan, Metang Shandam Pampan, Federal Constituency, it was outrightly given to him. Now, the question is, why should that be contradicted? Because the fact of the cases are the same. All the prayers are all the same. So the people are asking why. Now, when it now occurred to the PDP that indeed something is wrong. They now wrote a letter first.
Hello, Mr. Adudu, are you there? Hello, Mr. Adudu. Okay, it would appear that we've lost the connection with Mr. Adudu. We'll try to get him back on. But in the meantime, let's go back to our conversation with our social commentator in Benue State, because what's happening there is also as interesting. Our guest for that conversation is Agagbe Kelvin Tolum. So, Mr. Tellum, just while we wait for Mr. Adudu to join the conversation, you say that in Benue State that this sort of reflects the will of the people. You didn't think that the PDP candidates in the state, right, had any case to bring against whether it was the governor or the deputy governor of the case. I wonder if you are in conversation with members of the PDP in the states, and if even amongst themselves they express this sentiment of, look, I think that the APC won fair and square. Is that something that even the PDP members in the states say within their circle?
Yeah, like that. If for me to be bold enough to make such a statement on air, should let you understand that I have, like, it with a simple search on Facebook, on social media, for example, you will.
Hello, are you there? Hello.
Yeah, you can you hear me?
Okay, I lost you for us. I lost you at the point where you said a single search on Facebook, and that was the last thing I heard.
Yeah. Okay, now if you can hear me now?
I can. Please carry on.
Okay, so with a single search on Facebook, for instance, it will let you understand that you could see that even core PDP members are coincidentally or very shockingly, celebrating the victory of the reverend gentleman at the Court of Appeal. And that's coming from the fact that it boils down to what the court has been saying. It has no local standing. There's no meat to this case. This guy won overwhelmingly. You don't have evidence to prove that. You're trying to bring about party politics at play, but you do not have the right to even challenge the party because you're not a member of the party and all that. So that right from the tribunal, but that is the body language. That is what has seems to happen since when that announcement was made, when the pronouncement of the court has made. So across party lines, you see people getting angry. The PDP are angry with their party for not adhering, not doing what they're supposed to do, and they are being vocal about it. And in the same vein, congratulating the governor for his victory. And also I think the deputy governor candidate, who was also the party chairman that resigned, the PDP party chairman that resigned to pick up the candidacy as a deputy governor for the PDP, even showed that at this point they are looking forward to see how they can collaborate to make the state better. And that sort of suggests that they are not willing to take the case further. But I said that is still left for the party to decide. But be that it may, this is directly the reflection of what the people want, and you can see it across parties.
Right. Mr. Adudu, I hope you can hear me now.
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Right. So we apologize for the disruption there. But, just before you dropped off, you were talking about how Plateau State, has a lot of, election matters and has, effectively come up with different panels, and I have to be clear because you said panel and not tribunal. So just, we don't confuse people. And has come up with different panels to address some of the issues, right? And you did say that there were many, cases where the courts gave conflicting rulings, right? Like in some local elections where the prayers were the same, with some states, with some national elections, they gave, same prayer, different ruling. I mean, that's surely, is complicating a lot of issues in the states. What are some of the complications it is throwing up, and what are you hearing from your, from your conversation with the politicians involved in this case?
No, I don't think there is any complication. Like I told you, I had to, get myself involved in this as a journalist, because I know I'm speaking on this program in my capacity as a journalist, and whatever I'm going to say here is based on the what I've gathered, from the views of people,
right?
And and that is just the point. Now, the position of the PDP is that you have only one ground, which is based on qualification, which is the first ground based on Section 134, that anybody that is not happy with the outcome of an election can challenge. Now, on the grounds of qualification, first and foremost, you said nomination and sponsorship. When it now dawned on you that it is a pre-election matter, you now go to lack of structure. And the question is this: you cannot separate structure from nomination and sponsorship. They are all issues, internal affairs of the party. So what the PDP is saying right here is that as far as they are concerned, the two panels, the governorship panel and the other panel of the National and State Assembly, that is at the lower tribunal, that gets its ruling in favor of the party, they are right. The one that says that issue of structure is not a pre-election matter, the tribunal can entertain, as far as they are concerned, is wrong. So, and as far as they are concerned, that is the position of the appeal, that yes, indeed, they upheld the decision of the second panel of the National and State Assembly to say that the issue of lacking of structure on account of not obeying the court order, that a tribunal can entertain it. And the PDP is saying, no, that is totally out of place, because it is the internal affairs of the party, and no court should have the jurisdiction to entertain that. So that is the position of the PDP.
Right. And I think that's a very... In many ways, right? Yes. It throws up the sort of, confusion for the average, for the average consumer of Nigerian politics, because you see the court say, look, an opposition politician cannot meddle in party affairs, right? And then the court comes in and say, oh, look, you didn't do this in your party well. We can step in and say, this is not right, and as a result disqualify you. I want to bring a statement up, and this is something that Daniel Bwala had said on TV, I think yesterday, saying that the ruling in the case of the governor of the governor of Plateau State, right, makes what's going to happen in Ebonyi predictable. Do you get the sense that politicians, in Plateau State, are actually waiting to see how the court rules there? Do you think that it throws them, a fighting chance? Do they say something like, do they speak along that line already?
You mean the politicians in Plateau State?
Yes, saying, oh, well, let's see what happens in Ebonyi State, because already Daniel Bwala was on Channels TV yesterday, right, saying that, if we are going to sack the governor of Plateau State, over the reasons that he was sacked for, right? The fact that they didn't have a Congress as ordered by the court, then, we can say that maybe perhaps that might happen to the APC governor elected in Ebonyi State. And they think that it throws them a fighting chance. Is that an overwhelming...
No. See, they are not taking... See, let me tell you. As far as the PDP is concerned on the Plateau, the PDP, not only on the Plateau, but the PDP as a political party, the PDP believes that the Court of Appeal, its decision is a miscarriage of justice. They are not even looking at whatever that will happen at Ebonyi. Why? It's because even at the appeal level, it is only that panel that is saddled with the responsibility of handling Plateau petitions that is giving conflicting judgments. Other panels on issues that are similar to that of Plateau State have given their decision to say that they are pre-election matter. I give you an instance. The issue of Borno South House of Reps that was handled 2 days before that of Matcom and Musa Aga, handled by Justice Chioma Wonsu-Eheme. I think she has been recommended to the Supreme Court now. That's on Friday, before 2 days before that of Matcom. The challenge by the APC in Borno State is similar to that of Plateau State. 1, nomination and sponsorship. 2, that the problem, the Borno State PDP did not obey Supreme Court order, not state court order, like in the case of Plateau. What did Justice Chioma say? She said, based on Section 2851A of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, the jurisdiction of the tribunal is to decide whether anyone was validly elected during the election. She went further to say that the scope of the jurisdiction of the tribunal cannot be expanded to accommodate what happened in whether the primary or the Congress activities of the political party. That is not why the tribunal was created. That is one. Secondly, let me also say what the PDP are saying. In the case of Ufoma Brothers versus INEC and Co., it's a Supreme Court decision. What did the Supreme Court say? No court should adjudicate over matters concerning political parties regarding primaries or Congress, even when such exercise did not follow the guidelines of the political party. See, these are 2 instances that one can check and then measure what the Court of Appeal has done, whether wrongly or rightly. Because the point here is that you have the Constitution, which is the ground norm, to say that tribunal are special courts to handle what happened during the election, and then you have an institution, which is the Supreme Court, that gives flesh, to a law to say that no court should adjudicate over matters concerning party, congresses, or primaries. So where did the Court of Appeal come up with such issues to entertain matters regarding political parties at congresses or primaries?
Right, indeed, right. And thanks for clearing that up, because still I think we are back where we started this conversation, right? And whether it would just to see how it affects appeal rulings in other parts of the country. And I mean, obviously, politicians would have to the politicians will do what they do, and we'll continue to engage with them to see what they're saying about this. But I think, as far as being a journalist and reporting on the Facts Co, thank you very much for sharing your insights and the latest on this with us, Mr. Adudu. We appreciate it. Thank you. Joseph Adudu is a Jos-based journalist and publisher of African Drum. And again, thank you very much, Mr. Gagbe Kelvin Tellum. It's interesting what's happening in Benue State, and you telling us how all politicians have come together and are really, in many ways trying to see how they can move this forward. Let's see if there will be a departure, if anyone decides to go to court to challenge this. It'll be interesting to see what happens next. So, Agagbe Kelvin Tellum, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have had you on this conversation with us this evening. So, from Plateau State, where the court has sacked the governor of the state, to Benue State, where the court, and the appeal court in both cases, in Benue State has upheld the election of the clergyman governor Hyacinth Alia. Very interesting, developments in both states. So we're interested to see what happens next. So continue to engage with all the stakeholders in this conversation, of course, so that you can get a sense of how politicians are reacting to all of these developments in these states. But I mean, there are certain conversations that all of this, necessitates, and conversations around democracy and how we are even practicing it in Nigeria. And we're going to have this conversation tomorrow on the Big Story, talking about democracy, how it's being practiced in Nigeria, because former President Olusegun Obasanjo has made a very, very interesting statement about the sort of democracy that we have here. He's saying that, look, we're going to have to, take a hard look at the democracy that we have here in the country and, begin to ask ourselves whether it's working for us. But we'll talk about all of this in depth tomorrow, 5 p.m., so make sure to join me then. But at the round table, former President Muhammadu Buhari is speaking. And I want to get your reaction to that, okay? So stand by.
Stay tuned to your Beyond the News station daily for our up-to-the-minute compact news bulletins from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., 4 p.m. and 6 p.m., bringing you a wide range of local and international news from our news desk. Stay informed, stay updated on Radio Now 95.3 FM.
Please, officer, now. I know to make money today. I beg now. Hey!
Today is the day you are going to pay for all your sins.
Something exciting out of the stables of Sanitary Pad Media Campaign.
Not me. First man I know well, wallahi. Since yesterday. My stomach, I dey pain now. I no sleep.
Yeah.
A radio drama soap, My Period, My Pride.
This woman, come on for road. You know they look your back. Come on for road, this woman, huh? Come on for road.
My Period, My Pride, an advocacy tool for the provision of free sanitary pads for schoolgirls in Nigeria, powered by Sanitary Pad Media Campaign with support from MacArthur Foundation and Radio Now 95.3 FM.
My Period, My Pride, Season 1, The Story of Ife.
Every Saturday at 10 a.m. Every Saturday on Radio Now 95.3 FM, listen and win awesome prizes on the My Period, My Pride radio drama giveaway. You could be the lucky winner for the week. To participate, simply listen to My Period, My Pride radio drama every Saturday at 10 a.m. and stand a chance to win by answering the questions correctly. Send your correct answers to our WhatsApp number 0809 682 2595. That is 0809 682 2595 with the hashtag MyPeriodMyPride. Be the winner on My Period, My Pride radio drama giveaway. Again, it's Saturday 10 a.m. on Radio Now 95.3 FM, Lagos.
The issues are all around us, but who talks about them? Law enforcement breaking the law, property owners ripping off tenants, political office holders taking the electorate for granted, or is it the plague of recurring bad policies made by the government? These are the issues. Let's talk about these and more at the Round Table. Stay locked on to Radio Now 95.3 FM every weekday as we discuss these hot topics around us on The Round Table on Now Express. The Round Table, weekdays, 5:30 p.m. Stay tuned to your Beyond the News station daily for our up-to-the-minute compact news bulletins from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., 4 p.m. and 6. Stay tuned to your Beyond the News station daily for our up-to-the-minute compact news bulletins from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., 4 p.m. and 6 p.m., bringing you a wide range of local and international news from our news desk. Stay informed, stay updated on Radio Now 95.3 FM.
Good evening and welcome to the Round Table here on Radio Now 95.3 FM, Lagos. I'm Chika Ago. Former President Muhammadu Buhari says leading Nigeria is extremely difficult and he doesn't think he took Nigerians for granted, right? And this is off an interview that the former president granted the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority.
A developing country like Nigeria without being very accountable in the sense that we have to build institutions to employ people. You can't have such an aggressive, heavy population like Nigeria and think you will sit and enjoy yourself like the rest of developing countries. You can't. This is my personal experience. Leading Nigeria is extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult. People know they are right. They think that they should be there, not you. At virtually every step. And we have to struggle day and night, to see that you are competent enough. I don't think I ever took Nigerians for granted.
Former President Muhammadu Buhari speaking there, saying he doesn't think he took Nigerians for granted. Let's get your thoughts on that statement there. 0913 5000 953 and 0901 1111953. What are your thoughts on President Muhammadu Buhari saying he doesn't think he took Nigerians for granted, and saying that Nigeria is an extremely difficult country to lead? That's a conversation this evening here at the roundtable, and I think it's important, that we have this conversation because this is the former president's first, interview since leaving office. Let's talk to Kenny, who is on the line right now. Kenny, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, my brother. How you doing now?
I'm all right, Kenny. Welcome.
Chika.
Mm-hmm.
For the past how many months, president just came out to talk. We have not heard his voice. For how many months? Just that Baba did not do well now. Because if you are proud of what you have done, radio station, TV station, they need to be parading. The international community, they need to be running after you. You understand? Because you have offered something to humanity. To humanity. Baba did not offer anything to humanity. Not 10. Not 10. That is how
the former president says he does not think he doesn't think he took Nigerians for granted.
Brother,
do you agree with that?
Cheap now. This thing he said, can't you say that you did not keep your station for granted? You didn't take them for granted. But around this country are ground. Is it not the same APC to APC transfer of batting? That Ribadu. Can they let this country bankrupt? They looted everything, both chair and table, everything off. They put them in state of comatose. He said, "Do not take them for granted. If you don't take us for granted, you should have left us better than where we were before. You put us in a cage that we cannot go front, we can't go back. We just remain stagnant. All the whole economists in Nigeria, they are finding solution to problem that you have created. Is that not true? Is that not miracle that you created a problem that all economies they cannot find way around it? My brother, this thing that happened to us, Baba knows that he has no capacity to do that. He just wants to come and take that position again. From onset, he does not have that capacity. If you check during his campaign in that 2014-15, was he saying anything? Was he not front runners? What's it called? Call them front runners now. Tinubu and Co. They were campaigning. Baba was just there laughing behind them. They were the ones doing the whole martial art, doing the whole campaign, doing everything. Baba he did not say anything. He did not promise us to do anything. And that is frank. He did not promise us anything. He was just there laughing, smiling at their back, while Tinubu was in forefront. You understand? Embarking on that voyage. I don't really understand. Now it's coming to open book of lamentation that the country is bankrupt. This and that. Baba Buhari should not talk anything again. I don't even know who is going to interview him. They should just leave him so that he will enjoy what he has gotten.
You understand me? All right, let's free up the phone lines, right? 0913 5000 953 and 0901 1111953. Former President Muhammadu Buhari in his speech, in his interview with Network Service of the Nigerian Television Authority, said this.
Through a developing country like Nigeria, without being very accountable, in the sense that you have to build institutions to employ people. You can't have such an aggressive, heavy population like Nigeria and think you will sit and enjoy yourself like the rest of developing countries. You can't. This is my personal experience. Leading Nigeria is extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult. People know they are right. They think that they should be there, not you. It's virtually every step. And we have to struggle day and night, to see that you are competent enough. I don't think I ever took Nigerians for granted.
Obi, good evening. Welcome to the round table.
Chika, good evening. How are you today?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
I'm okay. The former president has just said the obvious truth. My problem is here for those of his supporters that never find anything wrong in his now the man has proved them wrong. The issue here is that I don't want to be talking about Nigerian politics. Chika, do you have another topic?
No, I don't have another topic. No, I don't. I don't. But do you really think, when you think back at 8 years spent under President Muhammadu Buhari, do you agree with him when he says he didn't take Nigerians for granted? Because there are many times that a lot of people felt like the president could have spoken up, and he didn't speak up. And it wasn't one of those moments where you can say, look, silence is golden. You know, they expected the president to speak up. In fact, can you cast your mind back to one moment where you really felt like you needed the president to speak up and he didn't speak up? Israel is calling in from Lagos Island. Hi, Israel. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Welcome. Please carry on.
Yeah.
Can you please turn down the volume on the radio in the background, please?
Oh, so sorry.
All right, thank you. Now? Yes, it's better. Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. President, former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I'm not in support of what he said. You know, saying that Nigeria is a very difficult country to live. I didn't take Nigeria for granted. I didn't expect him to even come out and be saying, like the first caller said, talk is very cheap. He knew that Nigeria is a very difficult country to rule, and he decided and even swear that if he did not win to be a president of this country, heaven will fall. Even as that, he couldn't even afford anything to Nigeria. Okay, now going out, he handed over to his colleague, will I call it his father or his brother. They continued the same step. Thereby, the Nigeria was complaining during his regime. Everybody were crying, complaining. He didn't even give ears to people that were complaining. And he's now out saying that Nigeria is a very difficult country to rule, and he didn't take. Please, he should go and sleep. Let him go and sleep. We don't even want him to come out and say anything to Nigeria. We are all tired of both him and his people of the ruling party. They should keep quiet and do the needful. This is not the right thing for him to come and be saying all this. We all entertain all these cheap talks. He will just come out and say one thing or the other. Let him just go and sleep. He has fulfilled his addition. Let him go and sleep. Please, I get tired if when each time I hear all this sort of statement. Let him quietly go and sleep. He said before he went out, he said that if Nigeria is disturbing too much, he will go to Niger at the which country and hide himself. Let him go there and stay. The economy is bad. The road is bad. No hospital, no light. He couldn't even afford to fix anything. One thing in this country, and he's here now saying all sort of. I don't want to sound so insulting, but I will advise him to keep quiet and mind his bed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Israel. That's that one's quite heavy, yeah. Michael is calling in from Ikeja. Michael, good evening.
Hello, Chika. Good evening.
Good evening, Michael. How are you?
This is Michael.
Welcome.
Yeah. Sorry, for our former president to tell us that he didn't take Nigerians for granted. It's very laughable. I'll pick out two occasions where we expected a president that is hands-on to come out and handle the situation. The first one was during the NSAS. When he started gradually building up. We expected him as a president to come out and address the country. He didn't do that until he escalated. He got to where the army had to come and start killing people. We didn't hear from him. Eventually, what he said was that some people wanted to come and remove him from office. How could the president be thinking like that? Another one is during the Naira, when the CBN wanted to bring out, change the currency and all that. Also started. We expected him as the president. When the Nigerians were attacking banks, destroying banks, and doing all sorts of things. They were telling him to come out and address and tell Nigerians, look at what we are trying to do and all that. He didn't do that. We didn't do that until he got to where at the back and call of the CBN governor, MFLA, and all that. So he kept quiet. He pretended as if it wasn't his business, nothing concerns him. And he's coming now to tell us that he didn't take us for granted. He's making us, he's just adding insult to injury. He should just go and rest and go and face his cow. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 0913-5000-953 and 0901-1111-953. Do you think that the president is right in his in his submission that he did not take Nigerians for granted? Michael just recalled two very important occasions in the lives of Nigerians. In fact, the other day when the CBN said that the old Naira notes will remain valid, forever, till infinity, people were sad. People were really, really sad because people were buying the Naira. People recounted buying 10,000 Naira for what was it, 4,000 Naira or 3,000 Naira. It was terrible. Oh gosh, I can understand Michael recalling that memory from earlier this year, and it's interesting. It was February. It was this year. This was one hell of an interesting year. 0913-5000-953 and 0901-1111-953. Talk to me about the president saying that he didn't take Nigerians for granted. That he did not. Former President Muhammadu Buhari says he did not think he took Nigerians for granted. Right, and it is his first interview since leaving office.
Usuba, a developing country like Nigeria, without being very accountable, in the sense that we have to build institutions to employ people. You can't have such an aggressive, heavy population like Nigeria and think you will sit and enjoy yourself like the rest of developing countries. You can't. This is my personal experience. Leading Nigeria is extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult. People know their right. They think that they should be there, not you. It's virtually every step, and we have to struggle day and night, to see that you are competent enough. I don't think I ever took Nigerians for granted.
Former President Muhammadu Buhari speaking there. I don't think I ever took Nigerians for granted. Very heavy words. I don't think I took Nigerians for granted. I mean, the president talks a lot about reclaiming Nigeria from the claws of Boko Haram. There was a part in the interview where he essentially said that he thinks that Nigerians should be grateful that they still are in control of the Northeast, because he went there and fought the terrorists. Perhaps not to a standstill, but we are in control of the Northeast, he says, and Nigerians should be grateful for that. So the president talks a lot about his efforts at fighting back terrorism, and it was one of the things that he that he had promised Nigerians that he was going to do, and in his own capacity he believes that he delivered on that promise to Nigerians. I did not take Nigerians for granted, the former president says. Let me get your thoughts on that. And you can leave me a text on WhatsApp to 0809-682-2595. 0809-682-2595. Former president saying, I did not take Nigerians for granted. I did not take Nigerians for granted. Former President Muhammadu Buhari in his statement there. Is that something that resonates with you? Do you think that in his own capacity he was there as president, being presidential, when we needed him to? Do you think that there was a time that we needed the president to speak to us and he he was unavailable. Kenny.
Yeah, my brother, thank you very much. Do you know how many days that Buhari spent in the hospital? How many days he spent in the hospital? How much did he spend? Did they give us information? They took us for granted. Did they publish how much they spent there? They did not tell us. My brother, talk is cheap. You know, there are some people that they follow history and go. You take Jonathan, for example. Jonathan is following history, and history is following him. Look at where he's going. He's now an ambassador. International one, for that matter. We need to be writing our name in gold. Buhari's tenure, they were still doing last-minute scatter. Agi Serika, aviation minister. I have not seen the kind of Yahoo. That one is Yahoo Prime. That was what that man did to Nigerians. Yahoo Prime. That he went and brought a plane and painted it. In fact, Hush Top is learning from that guy. That guy is chocolate. Look at Captain General. These people were just mopping up all money available. Last minute nomination of directors of board director and this and that. So they to go, they are appointing directors in ministry and what have you, and agencies. Last minute to go. 24 hours to go, Agi Serika was doing his own. Everybody was just everybody was just taking what can you grab before 29, what can you grab? What can Senate were approving all approvables. Lawa. Senate president, he was just approving and approving what's that thing they call it? Ways and means and ways, and what you see here, they are bringing their own, they are approving that last minute this thing. These people, they ripped Nigeria. They ripped, and they are still there. Some of them are still there. Exonerate, you are the kingpin. You cannot exonerate because those people, you are appointed them. Where is Lai Mohammed? Baba has gone solo. That is how life is, though. Where is Femi Adesina? The guy has gone solo. Because they were the ones singing the praises of Mr. President at the whole of Nigerians. They were happy with you. In fact, you are giving them 4 square meal a day. Where is it now? Now they are calling him front right now. All the whole psychopaths that he appointed, all of them, they're taking their loot and run away and left him. That is why when you are a leader, you need to take charge. You need to take that. Forget about those psychopaths that comes around to sing your praises. Because when the chips are down, my brother, now you then go call.
All right.
Now you then go call because Kenny, you are the kingpin. You are the main man.
Kenny,
you understand me?
Thank you.
He was not decisive in his actions. He was just trying to be a religious man. And they now dealt with him religiously.
Kenny, thank you very much for your thoughts this evening. I mean, there are those are very serious position or there's very serious issues that you raised, right? The integrity of the people around him. And the president even speaks that much about the people around him. He speaks about the cabal, right? The infamous cabal. He speaks around, some of the corruption that happened around him while he was in office, even though he came on board promising to fight back corruption. Nigerians felt like the administration of former president, his predecessor, Goodluck Jonathan, was deeply entrenched in corruption and needed a way out. And he campaigned on, the promise to fight back corruption, right? And he speaks about, his efforts at that, but unfortunately we can't go in depth into that conversation with the president because this is where we'll drop the anchor on the show this evening. Thank you very much for being a part of the conversation here. The news summary is up next at 6, so make sure to stay with us for that. My name is Chika Ago. Have a good night.
Stay tuned to your Beyond the News station daily for our up-to-the-minute compact news bulletins from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., 4 p.m. and 6 p.m., bringing you a wide range of local and international news from our news desk. Stay informed, stay updated on Radio Now 95.3 FM.
you just own it. Cause your body's on fire. Show me how to control it. Then go hit your flip and get higher. Girl, I love how you roll it. I put my hand there. Hold it, I'ma be right by you. I'ma be right by you. I'ma be right by you. I'ma be right by you.
Lighters up, one time lighters up. Pulled up in the party when you saw me, I was lighting up my J. So go ahead and brighten up my day. Lighters in the air when you're lighting up the rave. And it's feeling like I met you here before. Girl, I felt your presence when they let you through the door. Never had a brother give you everything and more. So I take a little piece and then the rest of it is yours, me and more.
You don't play when I don't they tell you. But can you things and I play? I know no way till you they do me. We just they start out my brain.
Fuck loving when I put you in your place. I can tell you love it just by looking in your face. It's the way that you wind up your waist. I'm so in awe, girl, you never have to worry about nothing. You know it's yours, you know you own it.
Yeah, you just own it. Cause your body's on fire. Show me how to control it. Then go ahead, get stiff and get higher. Girl, I love how you roll it. I put my hand there. Hold it, I'ma be right by you. I'ma be right by you. I'ma be right by you. I'ma be right by you.
Lights down for the one I love right now. You never look better. Forget our friends, girl, I love it when we chill together. Ain't nobody gonna feel what we feel together. She wanna kiss I want another one. You got a sick vibe, I want it one-on-one. Up to now nobody knew where I was coming from, but we got the same mind, so I don't wanna waste time. Bring it to me, my mind, that's what I need. That's right, kissing your cheek one time. I used to love being alone, but now I can't stand it. Reaching on my palm for you to put your hand in. Girl, you are the one, and I don't understand it. How you lighting up the room with your glow. Cause girl, you just own it.
Girl, you just own it. Cause your body's on fire. Show me how to control it. Go ahead, get stiff and get higher. Girl, I love how you roll it. I put my hand there. Hold it, I'ma be right by you. 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 I'ma be right by you.
The news that matters the most is the news that hits closest to home. If it touches your business, your family, your city, your schools, or your safety, we've got you covered. Everything that affects you is our concern. So, we go beyond, getting all the facts and serving you news and information you can trust.
There was 10 million liters of fuel made available at some point, which was not made available at the time because obviously it had to be brought in.
They attacked this Gayo village, Keru, and the Takalafia villages today. It's one of the many attacks.
Radio Now, 95.3 FM Lagos. Beyond the news.
Across Nigeria, Africa, and the world. This is Radio Now News.
Good evening and welcome to the news at 6 here on Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos. In the news tonight, Chukwuemeka Agbasi has been confirmed as the Managing Director of the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FERMA. The Senate today confirmed his appointment following the adoption of the report of the Senate Committee on FERMA at the Committee of the Whole today. Presenting the report, the chairman of the committee, Senator Hussein Uba, urged the Senate to consider the request of President Tinubu for the confirmation of the nominee in accordance with Section 2, Subsection 1 and 2 of the FEMA Act 2002. The governor of Ogun State, Dagba Abiodun, has invited foreign businesses to take advantage of the special economic processing zone and make the state their investment destination. He extended the invite while speaking as a guest on CNBC Africa on the sidelines of the Intra-Africa Trade Fair organized by Afrexim Bank in Cairo, Egypt. He said Ogun State has the required infrastructure, including accessibility, access to power, and a youthful, educated population to make it investor-friendly. The governor listed some of the companies in the states to include Lafarge, Nestle, Cadbury, May & Baker, Unilever, and Olam Floors, among others. 2 suspects have been arrested by police operatives attached to the Suleja Area Command in Niger State after they allegedly attempted to swap an automated teller machine card belonging to a female victim at a commercial bank in town. The suspects identified as Ave Wase and Godwin Deo were apprehended after a police patrol team trailed their vehicle and intercepted it at the Old Nepa roundabout in Suleja town. The driver of the vehicle, David Thama, abandoned the car and escaped. The State Police Public Relations Officer Wasiu Abiodun said in a statement that the victim discovered the suspect's attempt to swap her ATM card and raised the alarm. The police patrol team trailed the vehicle and was intercepted at the Old Nepa roundabout in Suleja town. In business and economy, the House of Representatives Committee on Finance yesterday agreed to appoint an external auditor to audit the accounts of the National Lottery Trust Fund for spending